down. Ah.
Well, you should start it.
Okay, when does it start? Hi. I just, I'm going to tell you my story. Um, I was shot 21 years ago. Um, it all started, basically, my fiance and I was on my way to work and I got ill, so he talked me into going to the hospital. I had got ill previously, the past, well, weeks prior, and I wouldn't go to the doctors. But anyway, so we went to the hospital and we found out I was 6.5 weeks pregnant. And he was like really just ecstatic. He was just so happy, just so happy. We had plans at that time, and he was just so happy. And I decided not to go to work. I was really ill, so instead I went back home. I wanted to go home. On the way home, he saw his friend's vehicle in front of a nightclub, so he just wanted to stop in there and tell them the news and get a drink, which I refused. I was very reluctant because I was ill and I just didn't want to go. And he was just so excited. He was in his own world, and that's understandable. I don't think he understood how sick I really was. So we baffled back and forth outside of the nightclub, parked on the side of the nightclub, and finally I decided I'll go in because I had to use the restroom. Well, we went in there and we saw some of his friends. We talked. Briefly, I decided to go stand over by the bar area and let him talk to his friends. Basically, what it comes down to is there was a young man that was there, and every time I had told my fiance prior that as soon as he drinks his drink, we're leaving. So every time I would look back to see if he was done, I noticed a guy sitting at a booth doing things, with his tongue towards me, just, whatever. And he was like sitting a few feet from where my ex-fiance, and his friends were standing talking. So the third time I looked back, a fight here broke out. This guy apparently had started a fight with my uh, ex-fiance. Apparently, I guess he heard the good news that we were having a baby and he saw someone happy, and I guess he just didn't like it. Maybe he was in a bad mood that night. We were told that that guy was at another club earlier that night and stated that he was going to shoot him a nigga. And I don't say the word nigga, but I'm just repeating what I was told later after all, the event took place, the occurrence took place as far as the shooting. But he ended up shooting a person that night. I'm not a nigga, but he shot a person that night. Well, basically what he did was the fight broke out. He claimed that my fiance bumped him, and my ex-fiance was a nice guy, hard-working guy, good guy. He's not a troublemaker. He's a professional man. And he told the young man he didn't bump him, but this guy insisted he did, which they were nowhere near it. So, of course, my ex-fiance, being a good guy, he told him, well, if I did, I apologize. But the guy hit him, basically tried to knock him out. So my ex's reaction was to hit him back, and he hit him, and the guy fell to the ground, basically. During this time, I'm grabbing his arm, and I'm saying, let's go, and we're walking away. And my fiance wouldn't turn around. He's walking backwards to the exit door, and I'm walking in front of him, and I'm saying, turn around, let's go. And he's walking with me, but he's just walking backwards. And I would look back to see, if the guy what's he doing. And I actually feel sorry for him because I figured he was drunk and just a foolish person. And, he was staggering, trying to get off the floor, and he had on like a long-lived black leather trench coat. And about the third time I looked back, that was the last time I looked back. I walked in that club and I ended up coming out on the stretcher. Basically, that third time I looked back, feeling sorry for him, even though he started it, and I'm the type, I don't like violence, so of course I feel for everyone. But basically, he decided to shoot at my ex, and he shot me in my back, in my level T2 section, really C7 section of my spinal cord in my back. And all I remember is flying through the air like I was a bird, basically. And I recall landing through a wood parquet floor. That's what I always call it. I felt like my whole body, half of my body was literally embedded in the floor. Literally, I hit the floor that hard, and I didn't know what happened. I had no idea what happened, and I heard people screaming. I saw people running, and me and my ex's eyes even connected as he was running away. I saw him literally, in the crowd, and all I thought to myself is, I'm on the floor, I don't know why, and the stampede of bulls are going to crush me. And the stampede of bulls were the people running. I mean, it sounded like bulls, and I just felt like I knew I was going to die because they were going to crush me. Well, the paramedics came, and I recall asking the paramedics to please put my legs down because I thought my legs were up in the air, literally. Like I'm laying on my back flat, but I thought my legs were going straight up in the air. And another young woman came by running and screaming, "Oh my gosh, she got shot in her head." And at that time I'm thinking, "Oh Lord, I'm shot in my head." And I'm thinking, this is like serious. And I just said, God, it's not time for me to go. I have a baby. I had a 3-year-old at the time. I was a young mom. I said, I got a baby. No one's going to love that child the way I will. Plus, there's too much on this earth that I have to do. It's just not my time, I figured. And I forgot all about I was 6.5 weeks pregnant. Literally, I forgot I was pregnant while that, as I, basically was talking to God about my 3-year-old. And so what it all came down to is, like, get back to the paramedics. I told them to please put my legs down. They told me try not to talk. I overheard one of them say that the poor thing is paralyzed. And I knew instantly I was paralyzed. I didn't care about being paralyzed. I just wanted to live. I wanted to survive. I'm a warrior. I've been a warrior my whole life. I've been through a lot in my young 42 years before this even happened. So I can just about handle anything. My main thing at that time was to remain conscious, because I felt my body leaving. I felt the coldness. I saw I was fading away, and I kept telling myself, I just got to remain conscious. And in the ambulance, I heard my ex panicking and them trying to calm him down, and I guess he wanted to get in the back, and they told him he had to sit in the front while they work on me. And my thing was, as long as I remain conscious and I make it to the hospital, I'll survive. And, the doctors will save me if they get me there in time. It comes down to how much blood loss you lose, And I apparently went out because I woke up inside of some big machine, a big loud machine, which turned out to be an MRI. And it scared me half to death, and I'm like, what am I doing in this thing? And I just didn't know what happened. And then for a minute, then it hit me. Oh, that's right. They said I got shot and I'm paralyzed. I recall that. So what I did was I went back out, faded away again. I guess I died, came back. And I recall waking up in a gray, dollish room with demons. I thought that, well, really it was one particular nurse. I thought the woman was a demon. I apologize to you, ma'am, if you see this video, but I was really frightened of her. She looked like very evil, and I was in this weird room with thousands, it seemed like machines and tubes coming all out of my bodies and pumps, and there was just so many machines and the wires all over me, and it was just so, what's the word I'm looking for? It was just horrific. So that woman scared the living Christ out of me, and I couldn't talk because I had a trach in my throat. I guess they did, that's so I could breathe. Because the bullet went into my back, ate through. I got shot with a 9mm gun bullet, I guess. So they said those bullets open up like a mushroom and they go through tearing you up. So it went through my spine and it ate up whatever it ate, one of my vocal cords. and it came out my neck here, and then they put the trach there. So once I woke up, when I did wake up, whatever that was, no one told me how long, how many days it was that I came out of everything. But like I said, I was frightened of the room and everything, but once I grasped what went on, I was actually happy. I was really happy. I couldn't use my arms or anything at first because they were paralyzed too. And so once they start working a little, the nurses made me a bandage, like, ace bandage. They wrapped up thousands of times around a pencil so I can at least palm it because my hands weren't working at the time. And I could palm it, and they had letter boards, and I would point the pencil to the letter so everybody can spell out what I'm trying to, what I was trying to express to them. That was very frustrating, very frustrating. My ex-fiance, he really got it bad because he couldn't figure out to pick the right letters, and I was just really flipping at that time trying to do that. But basically, it was a senseless situation of a guy who turned out to be a gang banger. He was actually known as a hitman for this particular gang, and this gang was terrorizing the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I guess people said they were responsible for a lot of murders and, people being paralyzed. But apparently I was the first young woman that they did. One of them hurt. So the district attorney at the time was already, I'm told that they were already looking at these people and going after them. So I guess when this happened to me, that's when they decided to go get them. I guess that's when they got them all. And, so I saw I saw this happen to me as a sacrifice. I feel by this happening to me, it saved a lot of other people. Because if this didn't happen to me, those guys probably would still be on the street. Some of them are most likely out. The guy that shot me, he's out. And I pray that, his life turned around. I pray that he's no longer in a gang. And I pray that, he's happy, healthy, and prosperous, Even though I'm having a hard time, I'm very happy, but I haven't prospered financially because of what he done to me has caused me major illness and delay. It has affected my health greatly to the point where I can't work. I can't keep nothing steady. So, he has caused me greatly. But I'm very determined, and I'm not going to give up. I'm one of those people, I'm going to keep trying to accomplish my goals. Every little step that I get, where I get some freedom of feeling well and where I can accomplish something, I'm going to keep doing. I'm just going to take it one step at a time and keep crawling to get to my destination, and I'm sure I'll persevere. If not, I'm one of those people, I will die trying. I'll be known as that person. Well, one thing about her, she tried